welcome to episode 34 of the Sweet Lavender podcast. My name is Christine and I'm coming to you from just outside of Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Today is August the 25th, 2019, and it is Sunday afternoon, I think close to 7 p.m. But it's still nice outside, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to film outdoors because the days are starting to get cooler already, yes, in August, and I like this weather. It's not hot, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, which is perfect. Thank you to all of you who are joining me for the very first time. For those of you who don't know, I don't have a local knit night to go to, so I've invited you to mine. I am ever so thankful for all your lovely comments and likes and just the support both here on YouTube and Ravelry. So for that, let me tell you, you can find me on Instagram as sweet_lavender1 and on Ravelry as sweetlavender1. We also have a lovely Ravelry group for our knit group, and it's called the Sweet Lavender Knits group. So come on by, check us out, and if you are up to it, introduce yourself in the welcome thread and join in. And I believe the last time I put out an episode, it was from our vacation in Cuba. We are back, obviously. We're back here now, to life, to the reality of going to work, and but I am thankful for the time off. I am thankful for having this group and for all of you who have been so supportive with your lovely comments. I just enjoy that interaction, and I really am grateful to have like-minded people that I can relate to and share this craft of mine. So I would usually say this podcast is mainly about about knitting, crocheting, sewing, and other crafts as I fancy them, but it seems like lately it's been very little about knitting and a lot about just crafts in general. So without further ado, why don't you grab your needles, something nice to drink, something that you like to work on, and let's get started. So thank you again for joining me today, and welcome to those that are new, and welcome back to anyone that's returning. I've been away from Ravelry for a bit now, just because once we got back from vacation, it's been quite busy and just trying to get into the swing of things again. So what happened was we went on vacation, and that was towards the end of July and the beginning of August, and we got back home, and thankfully we were all okay, and none of us got sick during the vacation or after. Then what happened 2 days later, I had taken the next week off as well, just to sort of relax at home and get some things just done around the house, prepared for August is the time when the kids are home from school, and then they head to school in September. So that was my summer vacation sort of, so I wanted to do a few things at home. My husband had been planning, we had been planning to have our house renovated and put in hardwood floors on the upstairs where they used to be carpeting in the rooms for a while, since May. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but that is a very loud car that just went by. Sorry about that. So it was back in May, and then he unexpectedly got sick, and so we had to put that on hold at that point. So because I was at home, he thought he would just call up the person who was doing the hardwood floors for us and see if he was available during that week. And just like that, he said, yeah, okay, I'll come by tomorrow. So we didn't really have a lot of time to prepare, which was terrible for us, but it all worked out. But it just meant that we were very, very stressed, and we had to move furniture around and pack things on sort of on the fly, and now reorganizing everything and just sort of finding things and putting them back where it should belong to. It's been a week since all of it was done, but I still have boxes in my room that I have to unpack. So along with the hardwood floors, we're putting in a closet for my walk-in closet, like the actual build-ins or whatever they called, the shelves and things like that. And I'm kind of waiting on somebody to come and do that for us as well. So things are sort of in limbo right now, and so I wasn't sure if I wanted to sit down and podcast, but then I thought, you know, I should just go for it. So excuse you know, sort of the randomness of this episode. I seem to be saying that a lot over these last few episodes now, and I hope you guys will be okay with it. But today is going to be a special episode for all of you, just because we've had the Let's Knit KAL that went on from April the 1st to June the 30th officially, and then I had it open for another month or so. So I thought I would do the winners of the KAL because it's been long overdue, and I know all of you who've taken the time to spend time chatting in the threads or even putting in your entries, and you know, it's not fair on you to hold back, so I really do want to share the winners with you. So I thought this would be a nice episode to do that, because I don't have any knitting to show you, but it's just going to be all about the winners today. So let's start. So like I said, the Let's Knit KAL 2019 went on from 1st of April to June 30th, and I had already said ahead of time that there would be monthly prizes, which would be Ravelry patterns, and I would be picking winners for April, May, and June, and then we have a winner from the chatter thread for the KAL itself, and another from the knit-a-thon. So let's start with April 30th. Up until April 30th, it was post number 228, and drum roll, the winner is post number 2, which is Astrid. I'll put the Ravelry ID up on the screen, and that's Patricia, and she knit the Odyssey shawl. So go by and have a look at Patricia's finished object, or the shawl itself. It's beautiful, and that is the and Patricia is the winner for April 30th. So then moving on to May 31st, it was post number 9 to 18. So there were about 9 posts, and again, drum roll, and the winner is post number 15, which is Ravelry ID Panushka, and that is Anna. And Anna knit the Make Waves top. Again, another beautiful project. And then the third one, I'm going through this pretty fast, is for June 30th, and it was post 19 to 30. And the winner of that monthly finished object is number 21, which is Jean KD, and that is Jean. And Jean knit the Brunswick tea, and another beautiful project. Thank you all so much for joining in, for all of your lovely entries, and you know, it is really inspiring when I see your projects and your patterns and just what you're working on. It's really inspiring, so thank you very much. So for all of you, all the 3 winners in the monthly prizes, please just drop me a message in Ravelry and let me know one of the patterns that you like, $10 and under, that you would like me to gift to you as the winning prize. So thank you again for joining in for that. Moving on to the chatter thread, I have to say I am super thankful for all of you ladies for just keeping up the chatter, even when I was just totally missing in action for a lot of the time. I really appreciate it, because it is it's been a little, you know, how do I say? I've been a little distant from my knitting, and in spite of that, you know, it's nice to know that you kept the thread alive, and you kept the thread alive, and that you guys still continue chatting on, which was really nice. So thank you so much for all of you that have been doing that, and I really appreciate it. And there were so many of you, and so I just had to put in the random number generator for all of these winners actually. So for the next two prizes, I wanted to be able to send over something, because it was, the chatter thread had been going on for the entirety of the KAL, and so was the same with the knit-a-thon. The intention was that you would knit a project through the 3 months, and have a finished object through the end of it. And unfortunately, we don't have too many entries in the knit-a-thon, and I think it was partly because I opened up the thread a little too late. If that was the case, I totally apologize for it, but there weren't too many entries. There were actually only 2 entries, so there was a 50% chance that you would be the winner. And that being said, I wanted to give physical prizes for these winners, because I think it's really nice that you've taken the time to keep up the chatter in the thread for all of those who have. And you know, unfortunately I can't you know, be sending out prizes to all of you, so I just let the random number generator do the job for me, and I have physical prizes here. So let me first show you the prizes, and then we'll go on to the winners of those prizes. The first prize, this is for the chatter thread, and it is a project bag that I made. I've probably shown it in the past. It's just got a red what do you call it, pull, and it's zippered, and it's got this starry, it's kind of like a glitter fabric inside there, and it's all sewn up, and it's got a matching DPN case. And I enjoyed sewing project bags for a bit. I made a few, and I had the intention of giving them away as prizes. So this will be the prize for the chatter thread. And so I'm going to put the DPN back in, the DPN case back in, and that is it's a nice deep bag actually. It holds about 2 skeins, and it holds the shape. It's got a padding in between, so it stands up, which is nice. So there you go, folks. That is the prize for the chatter thread, and here is the prize for the finished objects thread. So it is a lovely yarn that my husband got me on his trip back from Georgia, and it is a batik design by Lise Angora Gold Simile. I'm just reading the label right off here, and it is 100 grams. It says it's 75% acrylic and 20% wool, with 5% of metallic fibers, which I would think is like the stellina in there. So yes, that, and I thought it would be nice to do a matching bag with it. So this sort of goes to, you see the greens in there, the pinks and browns. So there you go. And this one, I even have a little label that says Sweet Lavender. So hopefully the winner will like this. That is your gift. That is your prize. That is your prize for the finished objects thread of the knit-a-thon. And now moving on to the winners. So let's do the chatter thread first. The chatter thread, there were 31 posts, 2 to 32, and random number generator picked post number 14, and that is Vicky, who's got the Ravelry ID, V Shaw. Congratulations, Vicky, and do send me your mailing address and I will have that in the post to you. So again, your prize is the project bag with the DPN holder, what do you call it, DPN case, DPN holder in here. It's a matching DPN holder. I hope you use DPNs. If not, you know what, so I have used them even for circular needles. I just put the needles in there and let the cord come out this way, and it just keeps needles in there because they're secure. These are closures that these are like snap closures, and it just keeps it in there so it's not like poking into your bag or anything else you've got in the bag, the yarn or anything like that. So yeah, there you go. I hope you enjoy that. That is your prize. And now moving on to the knit-a-thon prize. And like I said, there were 2 entries, and the entry or the winner of this knit-a-thon finished object is Sandra, who is I Love My Garden on Ravelry, and I am super excited to say congratulations to Sandra, but also I'm really happy that it was Sandra because she has been so nice in doing show notes for my podcast. So if you go on Ravelry, and if you, I never say that my show notes are here because I'm not doing them, and I forget. But actually, if you need to look up show notes for the past episodes, they're on Ravelry, and all thanks to Sandra, who took the time to she wanted nothing in return for that. Really, it was just something she wanted to do, and they're pretty detailed show notes, so very impressive. But this has nothing to do with it. It's just she happened to win it, and I'm very happy that you did, Sandra. So here you go. This is your prize. You have a little project bag from me, and I didn't show you how it's lined inside. It's got a pink lining, and the same as the pole, and and you know what? The pink is in there as well. So I'm gonna put the yarn in there just to keep it safe and clean. And there, so it fits in well. It's a nice deep bag as well. So thank you all for joining in with the knit along. I really appreciate all of you, just your support and just cheering me on even when I don't feel so much about it, and helping me keep this podcast going, because I look forward to podcasting, but I have to tell you, I start to get a little camera shy every time I think of just start thinking about sitting in front of the camera and having to speak to it. It's awkward. It is, and I'm a very reserved person. I'm very shy in real life, so it's a lot for me, but I really thank you. I thank you all for joining in, and it's been I can't say it's been the best KAL for me, but just because I felt like I wasn't involved as much as I would want to. I didn't even have a project that I worked on successfully for this KAL. Most often I don't have a finished project, but at least I attempt to. And this time it just was like out the window. I just didn't feel it. But I went along with it, and even when I didn't, you guys still hung on, which I really am thankful for. So that being said, I really thank you once again for being part of my knit group, and I appreciate it. I would really really like to be able to sit in a room and knit with all of you, and unfortunately that's not possible. But I think this is a bigger opportunity where we're so far away from each other, and yet we can share with each other what we're doing, what we're knitting on or working on, just whatever our crafts are. So lately I've just been so those are all the winners. Just gonna have a little bit of a chat and wrap it up for today. So lately I've been doing, I just felt a mosquito, I think. anyways, lately I've been because of this renovation and just having to, and I'm just thinking of redoing some of the areas in the home, and I was thinking in a very crafty way. So I've been looking up some ideas for fall decor or easy crafts that I can do for fall and things like that. So maybe when I do them, and if they are successful, I will maybe share it with you on the podcast. But today I just went and picked up a whole bunch of frames from the dollar store, excuse me, and they were just very basic black frames, and I thought I would do some wall art, just put a whole bunch of them next to each other, but not in any sort of a pattern, and create a wall of our family pictures, maybe because I have this little corridor in my room. Once you enter the master bedroom, you have to go past the washroom and the walk-in closet to get to the bedroom area. So that little corridor, there's a wall, and it's always just been like a plain wall. It's a corridor, nobody bothers looking at it, but I just wanted to pretty it up, and I thought I would do like a little wall art with all these frames. So yeah, if I get around to it, when I get around to it, I have to, I've bought them, so I will do something, but when I get around to it, I will definitely share it with you as well. So yes, it's been cooler nowadays, which I really am appreciative of. I love this weather. It's so easy to just dress for it, because you're not it's not too hot, and you don't have to peel layers or anything like that, which is nice. I hope all of you are crafting and enjoying your knitting and your crocheting, your sewing, if you are doing any. I had so many plans for that second week of being at home to get some sewing done, but unfortunately this renovation just threw everything out the water. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to it at some point. Yes, I think that's a wrap. I would really like to try and podcast a little more frequently. Now with fall coming in, I'm looking forward to more knits, and actually I am working on a pair of socks that has morphed into so many different patterns, and I've ripped it up like 2-3 times, ripped it back completely and started over. I'll share it with you when I do get around to it. I'm almost finished with it, so I wanted to share it as a finished object rather than go through the whole thing and say, here, I have a little more to do. So I'm almost finished with it, and that's my train knitting. And I haven't touched my cardigans knitting or anything like that. It's been primarily the sock that I've been knitting on the train, just to sort of keep me going. And I would like to knit a lot more, but I sort of, during the renovations, I hurt my wrist a little bit, so I was wearing a wrist brace, and that was kind of hindering me from knitting. How dare it. But yes, it was hindering me from knitting, so I had to take it easy for just a bit. But yeah, there we are, folks. It's the end of August already, and we're heading into September. I would have liked to be a little more prepared and maybe done something for the fall as far as our knit group, but I think I'm gonna pass just for September and maybe come up with something for October. So let's see. So thanks again for joining me. I am so glad I sat down and got this done. I know I'm going to edit it, and I hope it will come down to maybe about 20 minutes. Fingers crossed. Let's see. So thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your time knitting with me. And for those of you who haven't done so already, subscribe and join in with our knit night, and hit that little notification bell so you'll know as soon as I upload an episode. And I look forward to reading all of your comments, knowing what you're up to, and do feel free to join in with the chat on the Ravelry group as well. Thanks again for joining, and until next time, happy knitting. Bye bye.